Hi everybody and welcome back to Random Fix. Today's video is all about inverters. So if you got a camper that you are converting to a full-on camper with a bathroom, solar panels, maybe even an oven or an induction cooktop there, you want to get yourself an inverter. So in this video today I'm going to show you guys the setup in this van here so you guys can see if it's right for you, because a lot of van conversions actually have the inverter in a bigger battery box and maybe you just don't have the space for it. So I'm going to show you how this car came, and it was done by a professional outfitter and I just kind of added to it and just made it my own and took advantage of what was already there, and I've been using it for the last 7 months, and honestly I'm going to give you guys my honest review of this too. So this is the Xantrex 2000 watt sine wave inverter. So let me go ahead and get the video started. Welcome back everybody to Random Fix. If you guys are new to the channel here in 2021, we are actually working on a camper van here, and in this video today I'm going to show you guys my inverter here, how I actually ran the wiring, put the plug in here so it's completely stealth, and I'm going to show you guys my battery box so you guys can get some ideas for yourself. And then I'm going to give you guys two recommendations on two awesome inverters that I've actually used myself, because I tried a lot of inverters when I had my original RV, and surprisingly a lot of them out there are just complete crap. So this one right here has worked out, and I'll show you guys it actually operating a convection oven I have in here, which is amazing when you're actually on the road. I'm going to show you guys my wiring, and this is the way it actually came in. So every single time I actually wanted to turn it on, I had to actually remove this cover here because there was no remote or extra plug, and I had to manually reach in here, pull over and turn this on. And to turn it off I would have to do the same exact thing, and it was connected to the regular auxiliary battery on the vehicle. So I've gone ahead and actually added a lot more batteries, and I'll have videos on how to actually assemble that. And I have 560 amp hours of lithium iron phosphate in this box right here. So I'm going to cover this with you guys in this video today. But let me show you guys my setup here and how I actually got here, and then we'll jump into the little tips that I have for you guys so you guys can do this once and be done with it and get your project completed. And in this video today we're going to be finalizing the setup of this inverter here. This actually came from Mercedes Benz stock when I bought the vehicle. However, we're going to go ahead and modify. So what we're going to do is go ahead and put a 30 amp auto switch in here, and then we're going to go ahead and have a dedicated circuit maybe back here or on the door, so we don't have to run basically two sets of lines out. And the very last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mount the remote for the inverter, because right now I have to go ahead and open the door, find the little switch and turn it on and off. So stay tuned for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the way I'm doing it in my vehicle, and your vehicle might be a little bit different. I'm taking the easy way, which is basically I'm going to run the wire through here up by the passenger side feet, and I'm going to come out right there so I don't have to make any holes in my van. And I might go ahead and leave it loose back here and just plug it in whenever I need to, or I'll take my 30 amp connection and put it on the bumper, so it'll be nice and convenient to go ahead and plug into. And when I get to the house, I'll use a 15 amp to 30 amp adapter at the house. And the reason I'm doing it this way, because I really don't want to drill into the actual panels of the vehicle. So let me show you guys what I'm doing in my setup. So what you need to do is get access to the passenger side seat. So a lot of people put diesel heaters in here, In my case, it already had an inverter, wires already done, and mine comes with a diesel heater already, but it doesn't turn on unless it's 29 degrees. So if you guys want to watch that video where we play around with the ambient air temperature, check out the video links below. So take the seat off, which is really easy. It's actually a pretty light seat, so you don't have to get help to go ahead and do it. On my case, I'm actually putting on the swivel seats after this as well. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to have a video on the Procono seat and also on the Sportscraft seat. Because of COVID, we really cannot get these seats in stock right now, so I had to go ahead and pay up. But I think this Procono might actually be a better quality seat. It's got a lot more mass to it too. And to go ahead and get this started, you're going to need some tools. Flathead screwdriver. You're going to need a T25, some sort of pick, and the most important part is that you don't forget that there's these little 3 T25s in there, and they're really hidden. So on back here, let me show you guys where they're located. There's one right there. There's another one right there. You really have to keep your eye out for them. And I think on the rear step here we have how many?
5.
We have 5. In the front right here we have a total of 3. So keep that in mind. And once you go ahead and get those out, you're going to remove this little clip right here. And there's another T25 back here. And then you just go ahead and take this out. And we're going to have access to our wires. So I am actually going to be running 10-3 cable here. This is marine grade wire, so you want to make sure you get the right wire. I'm going to be putting it in some protective sleeves here. I'm also going to be running some 12 gauge 4 lead wire just in case I ever need power to the front. I'm going to have it there. I don't want to keep removing these panels. If I never use it, it's okay. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing your build. Try to go ahead and prepare, and it's better to have a few extra wires out there that are not connected than to go ahead and redo everything again. So we're going to work our way back, and Diego's here. Diego, say what's up to everybody. Hey guys, if you guys are in the Bay Area, I'm going to have Diego's contact info below. If you guys need help with your build, we've already put the roof on, the ladder, we're doing the hardwood floors, the bathroom, and some custom stuff that we're doing in here. So reach out if you guys are in Northern California. And there was a zip tie right here from Mercedes Benz. We went ahead and cut that out, and now we're going to work our way back. So he's feeding this wire in here, right there. And this is a factory location. Again, no drilling required. It's going to come out somewhere right there. Diego, hold on 1 second. Okay, so Diego's got the wire through. Look how well that area is insulated. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it now. Next, we're going to go ahead and run our 12-volt wire.
Okay.
So this is going to be the 30 amp switch here. Obviously, it's going to go underneath this factory mount that was put in by Mercedes. So I'm going to connect that all up. I'm also going to incorporate into it the battery converter, so it's going to charge my lithium ion batteries, and I'll show you guys how to do that later on. And I went ahead and got some of this extra protective basically multi-sleeve Alex Tech on here. That's what they call it. And even though I have 2 layers of insulation, I just want to be extra sure that nothing's going to cut into this. And anywhere where it's going to touch the body, I'm going to go ahead and have that material in here. And Diego is going to go ahead and pop this in now. Alright, so Diego's got it together here, and he's going to put this in place. So that cable with the protective layer is actually pretty thick, so we notch out a little tiny area, and we're going to go ahead and file this down a little bit, and then the cable will basically run right in here, and we don't have to worry about it being damaged. So now he's going to go ahead and line up that wire right where we made that little notch. Better?
Yep.
Cool. So that was a little bit challenging. We basically still left a notch and ran the wire right underneath here. Ran everything first. Then from the top, we went ahead and put this protective cable covering here. And we're going to go and finish up the rest at the front. And then we'll come back to the actual transfer switch here and finish this up. So one thing you may have to do is trim some of the flooring to go ahead and go around the really thick cable we just put down. Make sure there's not going to be any pressure exerted on it. Alright, so we got this all sitting flush now, and whenever you have exposed wiring like this, go ahead and even cover these areas up with some of this Alex Tech braid on here, so you could just leave it right in. Hey everybody, if you guys are enjoying the video and the video is helpful, please consider giving the video a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing, as it's absolutely free and it would mean the world to me, and I really appreciate you guys' support. If you guys want to know anything about the actual van build, you guys will find a complete playlist that I cover everything from beginning till the end and everything in between, because knowing what to get and where to get it from is half the battle, and there's a lot of cost savings in that. And then I'm actually here to answer any of you guys' questions, so if you guys comment down below, I always get back to you guys. And if you guys don't already know, I'm actually planning on doing a Sprinter giveaway here, so I would love to give this Sprinter away to somebody here on YouTube. So if you got any idea here for a possible giveaway, please leave your comments down below, and I could really use your help. And I will release those videos towards the end of the actual build, as I still got a couple of things to complete, but I am enjoying it, and I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe out there. Thanks. Alright guys, so now you guys actually know how this system kind of works. There's going to be a transfer switch out here underneath the actual inverter. I'll have a video about that. You guys saw me run the wire. I showed you guys where the actual shore power plug is, and this is the connector right here, guys, and it works amazingly well. Simple. And with my 200 watts of solar, I barely even charge this thing, because I only do it about once a month just to go ahead and top off the batteries. Now I'm actually going to talk about the whole setup, what you need to do, and some things that I wish I would have paid a little bit more attention to, because it's all about the preparation. And the very first thing I actually did is I made it very easy to turn on my inverter, which is kind of funny, but my kids get in here all the time. They want to go ahead and play their games, so having the inverter switched right there on the ground is really easy. So the way I actually did that is I went ahead and ran the wire. So the wire goes through all of this back to the actual inverter. So this hump right here is very important, and all the wires basically run underneath here. However, there's little clips and screws and stuff, so you want to do this one time. So once you get both of these seats removed, you want to make sure that you run all your wiring. So I went ahead and ran an extra wire for my converter or my battery charger, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to show you guys that now. So this is going to be my battery box. So inside my battery box, I have those two batteries here. So I've actually ran extra wires to go ahead and do two more of these batteries in the back. I have a whole build series on these, so if you guys want to learn how to build these for cheap, you guys will find it down below. And this is the most important part of the actual battery, besides the BMS, because this thing is a lifesaver. So the way this whole system works, guys, is the power wire for the actual inverter is run all the way back. So this setup actually came from Mercedes Benz, so I didn't want to remove components, and that's why I'm making this video, because some of you guys might actually want to go ahead and do a setup like this. And I can testify for you guys that the inverter, for as cheap as it is under 400 bucks, actually works, and it can hold the load even on the convection oven, which I'm going to fire up for you guys. But the wires basically come in right over here. Here's the positive lead, and there's going to be the negative of it right there. And I actually ran 2 ground cables, so one is going to be right there where I'm pointing to, and then there's another one behind here when I actually was putting in the bathroom unit here. So all that stuff is there. I went ahead and ran an extra power cord for my battery charger here, so whenever I plug into shore power using that connector that I showed you guys by the wheel area, what happens is this thing will fire up and basically goes ahead and tops off the batteries. This is going to be my DC to DC solar charger, which I'll have another video about on how it works. And bottom line is, go ahead and run everything, run some extra wires when you're actually doing the inverter. If you decide to go ahead and do it under the chair there, or if you decide to put it in here, you may be able to do that too. And it may get a little crowded, but it'll work. And so this is going to be my inverter setup. So I am going to go ahead and hop behind the computer, guys. I'm going to show you guys those 2 inverters that I was talking about. One is going to be under 200 bucks and the other one's under 400 bucks. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys really quick right now the actual convection oven turning on. So this is my convection oven, guys, and as you guys can see, there's actually tinfoil inside. So you want to make sure that you get yourself a real convection oven. And you guys know a regular microwave can't have tinfoil or metal inside. So you guys can see this is working, and I got an absolutely great deal on this. It was under $300. I'll have a separate video. If you guys want to make any comments about this, please do so, as I would love to help you guys find the right unit for your camper build. So that works. The induction cooktop works. The water heater works, all off that one inverter. And I think Mercedes Benz paid this outfitter quite a bit of money, somewhere from Georgia, if you guys saw my earlier videos, to go ahead and install like this. And this is the setup here. Please leave your comments and questions below, and I look forward to answering them for you. So one of the main things of actually having the automatic transfer switch is literally the freedom of mind to know that you're not going to go and burn up some wire that you have behind some panel in your camper van, because sometimes you're not going to be able to go ahead and easily access some of the parts. So if I had a wire that I burnt up behind there, I literally have to tear out everything, and I don't want to do that. So that's why the automatic power transfer switch is so critical, guys. And the setup on it is really easy. I think the unit was like maybe less than $100, and it's worked great. No issues with it so far. And you want to get yourself a little bit more power than you need. So I actually got a 30 amp automatic transfer switch, not a 15 amp, just because I didn't want to go ahead and deal with anything possibly burning up on me and me having to remove the seat, which then can give you an airbag light, or you disconnect it from everything. Then you're going to have to go ahead and tear out this unit and then go and get access to the actual transfer switch, which is going to be underneath there. So one of the things that you actually want to do is get this sine wave inverter right here. So a sine wave inverter basically means it's a better signal for a lot of the digital devices like computers, TVs, microwave ovens. And you may find some units out there, like the one I'm going to show you guys later on, that's actually not a sine wave, guys, but it works. And it's worked for many, many years. And I've probably purchased about 10 inverters that were anywhere from $300 to $800, guys, and some of them couldn't even start a microwave. So you know, those are things that you want to pay attention to. And sometimes just because a microwave is actually turning on doesn't mean that it's going to be operating the way it's supposed to, because you'll notice that it's turning a little bit or slower, and you can hear it. There's a weird buzz noise when it's underpowered. And here's a pro tip, guys. try to go ahead and get these automatic breaker switches and run some extra power in case you ever need it, in case my lithium iron phosphate batteries go bad, the BMS goes bad. I can always just go ahead and flip the switch and I'm good. And I'll show you guys the battery shunt setup later on, and how to go ahead and connect it to the solar, and where to go ahead and put the solar wire in case you got a DC to DC converter like this. Anyway, lots of cool little things to do, and these little breaker switches, guys, are really a lifesaver, as you can go ahead and built in a redundancy plan just in case. And if you never use it, that's great, but if it goes out on you on the actual road, I've had a lot of people say, hey, go ahead and get 2 inverters because they'll break on you right away. And I haven't had that actual problem yet. However, the same thing will happen to your possible batteries, the BMSs, anything can break at any time. You just don't want it to break down on you when you're on that family vacation, as you may not have a cooktop, food, hot water, entertainment, whatever it is. So redundancy is the key, and overdoing it is literally highly recommended when you are doing your van build. Run some extra wires and go ahead and have that backup there, because it's really hard to run wires once everything is in. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys now the units that I was recommending to you guys that are great value, some of the automatic transfer switches, what I've used, ones that are out there, the remotes, and everything else. So this is the unit that I have right now, and as you can see, it's only $364, guys. This is the one that I was actually using to power up the convection oven, and it can hold, and it's absolutely a great unit, and it's a great size too. Some of the units that have this kind of power output are really clunky and take up a lot of space, and also require some kind of coating, which I don't want to do, and this does not need any of that. So for $364, you can get yourself this unit here. And if you guys want to grab the remotes that I was showing you guys, the one that I actually put towards the bottom of my battery bank so I could turn this on with my foot and make sure that it's off when I'm not using it. And the power consumption on the actual unit is very, very low. So if you do like to just go ahead and leave it on, you can. So the remote is about 20 something dollars here. And this right here is going to be the automatic transfer switch. If you guys wanted to go with a simple setup, this is really easy to wire, but it's only a 15 amp automatic transfer switch. So this goes into the actual inverter, and then basically you have your power line in, and then you have your power line out, which is really, really easy. And this is the other transfer switch that I actually recommend, the one that I installed in my Sprinter. This happens to be a 30 amp. The setup on it is just as easy, and I don't like their diagram here, so in my video I'll actually show you how to do this, and it only takes a couple of minutes. Again, it's just a much better unit, and it's still less than $100 at $79. And if you guys don't have $400 to actually spend on a unit and then go get the actual remote, this unit right here from Ampeak is a workhorse of a actual inverter. So I've bought a few of these and installed them in my brother's RV as well, and it's absolutely a great unit. And again, it does work the microwave and some of those like Keurig machines that take a lot of juice when they first start, about 1800 watts, and this will hold it. And the remote on this is actually included, so it's a great unit. So this might be a great unit for the under $200 price range. And next I'm going to show you guys some of the wires and the accessories and the chargers, so you guys kind of can go right to it if you guys do want to just go ahead and build this out and not have to spend months and months researching it if it's going to work or not. And to go ahead and wire up your inverter and make sure it has enough juice to be able to do what it needs to do, you want to get yourself some nice cable. So this right here is 1/0 cable. So this cable right here is actually from Install Gear, and it was really easy to work with. It was the best deal I could find as well. And so you want to get yourself the 1/0 cable, and if you want to go ahead and use it for your negative, which I did, you're perfectly fine. All you're going to do is put some black tape at the ends here, and you could wrap it with black electrical tape the whole way through, and it's a lot easier than actually trying to carry a red cable and a black cable, because there's really no difference. This is the other grade of cable I would purchase, which is still going to be plenty good for anything that's under about 50 amps. So get yourself some of this. Again, I just got mine all in red and put some electrical tape on the ones that are going to be my negative wires. And instead of buying a crimp for each size wire, I actually like to get this kit right here, guys, and it's a really good value. You guys can see I purchased it twice, as it paid for itself. And you want to get yourself a good crimper too, so I'll include the one that I used that was for less than 20 bucks with the hammer, and it was beautiful. I didn't need anything more than that. And here is that Alex Tech wire protector that I showed you guys. I use this on that thicker 1/0 cable and also the power cable, or anything else that I wanted to go ahead and keep from abrasion, and really make sure that wire is not going to go ahead and get damaged over the years. And to go ahead and power up some of the devices around the vehicle, what I did is, instead of going out and trying to find cable, I found the best deal actually on speaker cable. And speaker cable can actually carry about 10 amps of power depending on the size you get. So I got this 14 gauge 4-wire cable here, and this is a lot better than basically running 4 wires through a little tight area. And I got this box right here, and I used the whole box in my setup. And then I also got this 2-wire setup, and I have probably about 10 feet of this left. So you want to get yourself things like this in bulk, and it was really great material. I do not have any issues in my van after using both of these right here. So this is a great value. And for your power wire, please get yourself some great wire, and you want to go ahead and either go with the marine wire here, or you might have to find a specialty store to go ahead and find something that's going to work into your camper build, because you're not going to be able to use the stuff that you use in your house, which is that Romex, and that stuff in the house is very brittle and it can actually break, and you want something that can go ahead and bend easy. So this is what you want to go ahead and get. And I went ahead and bought this, I believe, a 50 feet, and that was enough for me to go ahead and get my van done. So these are the terminals that I used, and they're really easy to install, and they just mount into any piece of plywood or whatever you want to install this into. And one thing, sometimes these studs here are a little bit bigger, so in case you got that kit, what I did is I started just drilling them out, which took a second. I put a drill on my impact and went ahead and made the holes larger in case it was going to be a different size than this. And for your electrical connectors, I found these by accident because it actually came in that automatic transfer switch, and these things are amazing, and they come in different sizes, guys. So they have a two-way where basically it only has 2 slots here. They have one with a 5 slot, so you can make yourself an easy electrical setup and not have to sit there and worry about those little twisties and these things. So try looking into these. I highly recommend it. For anything less than 10 amps, guys, this is a lifesaver. It's a lot better than those little button connectors, and I use this in the van and none of them failed, and they're really great. Again, I would only use this on the 12-volt setup under 10 amps. And they also come in this variety pack here, which includes all different kinds and different sizes. So we can see we got almost a 5-way connector here, a 4-way connector here, 3-way, 2-way, and the throughs. So this right here actually is great for like speaker wires, and basically you can put 2 connectors here, and on the other side they just go ahead and snap down, so you don't have to sit there and worry if anything's going to go ahead and pop out, or see if you got your crimp right, because it always did a perfect job. And it comes with this holders too that you can go ahead and fasten into maybe some wood. I didn't use them, but I guess if you wanted to go all out, you could.
And these right here were going to be those circuit breakers that I showed you, and they come in different sizes. So I went ahead and used a 60 amp, 150 amp, and a 250 amp, depending on what I was trying to do. So if you want to make sure, for example, that your alternator doesn't get a crazy load from some of the lithium iron phosphate batteries, what you'd want to do is go ahead and put a 60 amp in between. And also on the BMS, you can go ahead and limit how much it can take in. I would highly recommend doing that, and I'll actually cover that on the battery build video for you guys as well. You do not want to put a crazy load on your alternator, as some of those batteries can take in 100 amps, and if you have 4 of them, your alternator is going to be smoking and not lasting very long. And these circuit breakers also come in this inline version. You can use whichever one you like better, but these are going to be normally for the lower amperage setups. And this is going to be my Victron battery charger that I use, and this can also be used as a converter, so it can be used just to go ahead and power up devices as well. Again, it works with the battery shunt on the same style Bluetooth network, which is great. And this is the battery shunt that I used. This is the one from Victron. It was really easy to go ahead and configure. And in case you guys are actually wondering on how to go ahead and put solar into the actual equation here on the battery shunt, I'm going to go ahead and cover that with you guys on the actual battery shunt video and also on the solar video. So go ahead and check those out for easy explanation. And for most people, this 500 amp version is more than enough. So basically, this can read when it's going to have a total of 500 amps running across there. So that's about 6,000 watts. No one's going to be using 6,000 watts in their actual setup here. So this is more than enough. And even if you have 1,000 amp hour battery bank, this will go ahead and get the job done. So you do not need to get one of these bigger versions here, as this is going to be ample. Anyway, guys, I hope this information was helpful. You'll find links to everything that I mentioned in the video box down below. Thank you so much, and I look forward to answering any questions that you guys may have. And that way you guys can go ahead and enjoy your builds. And I look forward to our next video. Thanks.
Alright guys, now I went ahead and showed you my inverter setup that came from Mercedes Benz. How it kind of differs from what most people do, which is actually install the diesel heater underneath the passenger seat. And then I gave you guys some recommendations. I gave you guys 2 great inverters that I've personally used that are almost bulletproof, unless you're trying to run an AC unit with it, which I actually don't recommend. Thanks again, guys, for checking out the video. If you guys got any questions or comments, please leave them down below, as I would love to help you guys in your van build. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.